Hello everybody and welcome to the Daily Splatt. Today is video number 6 in our series of 20 previewing the English Premier League season 2012-2013. Today's team, alphabetically 6th along the list, is Liverpool, and so let's have a look at Liverpool's prospects. So, Liverpool, who finished in 8th position last year on 52 points, certainly have a fair bit of rebuilding to do. They finished 37 points off the top of the table, Manchester City and Manchester United pairing, and that just won't do for Liverpool fans. Obviously, they expect this club to be back up there winning titles, even though they haven't won the English domestic division in 22 years, I think it is at this point. 1990, the last time that they actually won that trophy. Not to say Liverpool haven't been successful since then. In fact, even last season they did something Arsenal haven't done in almost a decade, and win a trophy when they won the League Cup and made the FA Cup final where they were beaten by Chelsea. So they still know how to win a trophy, provided it's in a cup competition. But that shows that there's still a relatively decent team there. But the league also suggests that maybe there's a few problems. If one of those problems was the manager Kenny Dalglish, which I happen to think it was, then they fixed that because they've sacked him and replaced him with the Swansea manager, Brendan Rodgers. Well, I say they've fixed it. There's a chance they've fixed it. Obviously, we've no idea how Rodgers is going to do, but if his form at Swansea is anything to go by, he could do quite well with some of these Liverpool players. In terms of transfers, Liverpool have only signed one player, and that is the Roma forward, Fabio Borini, who used to play under Rodgers at Swansea for a brief loan period, and Rodgers also had contact with him during the time they both spent at Chelsea, where Borini was a youth player and Rodgers was working as part of Jose Mourinho's staff. So obviously Borini and Rodgers do have a bit of an understanding, and I think Borini's probably a good signing. He's got very good finishing statistics from last season, something that nobody at Liverpool had. I think Liverpool hit the frame of the goal a record amount of times last season, certainly the most last season, so they need someone who can actually put the ball away. This is probably a good signing. In terms of players they've let go, there's a few that have gone. Alberto Aquilani has been released or moved on, or finally he's gone. Definitely a bit of a flop, unfortunately for him, but he has gone. He has gone to Fiorentina in Italy for about £3 million. So the replacement for Xabi Alonso didn't really work out. It's a shame, but they have let some other well-known names go. Dirk Kuyt has left the club. He's gone off to the Turkish league. Forget which club he's gone to now. I can have a quick look. But yes, Dirk Kuyt has gone. Might be Galatasaray or Besiktas. Having said that, it will probably be Fenerbahce now. And Fabio Aurelio has been allowed to leave on a free. He's gone back to Brazil, and it was Fenerbahce who signed Kuyt. So there you go. So they have let a couple of these players go. Obviously, Rodgers did say he was going to come in and evaluate everyone in his squad and decide who could stay and who would go. Maxi Rodriguez has also gone. He's gone over to South America as well. So he has made space in his squad to bring in a couple of new players. Still in the squad are the likes of Andy Carroll, for example, who apparently is not going to be part of Rodgers' plans. They kind of are looking just to loan him out by the sounds of it, but a couple of clubs were interested in signing him. We know West Ham are one of those clubs that are interested in signing him, but I'm not sure if that deal's going to work out too well. You're also, the possibility of Newcastle coming in and getting him, but I'm not sure how that would benefit Newcastle, to be honest, when they've already got the excellent Demba Ba and Papis Demba Cisse partnership there. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see. As for the rest of the squad, obviously they've still got a couple of the stalwarts. There's Steven Gerrard, despite the fact he had quite a lot of injury problems last season, is probably still their most important midfield player. Second most important, possibly, is a little Brazilian player known as Lucas Leiva, who of course missed most of last season with an injury, and it's a shame because he'd started the season off very well indeed. So he's fit, he's ready to play again. If he can make his way back into this new Brendan Rodgers team remains to be seen, but Lucas Leiva being back is certainly a plus. It also looks as though Agger and Skirtle are both going to be fully fit for the start of the season, which is important for Liverpool because they are Liverpool's best two centre-backs. Jamie Carragher, I think, is just getting too unreliable, and Sebastian Coates is still a bit raw and needs a bit more game time before he can seriously challenge one of Skirter or Agel for a starting spot, I would suggest. And then, of course, they've still got the likes of Luis Suarez still in the team. Suarez was probably Liverpool's most effective player, certainly their most talented, I would say, with the possible exception of Steven Gerrard. However, of course, Suarez was the most controversial, but we'll leave all that aside now. It's supposed to be a new season and a new start, at least that's what Rodgers has reportedly told Suarez, so we'll have to see if the Uruguayan actually takes that on board. So, where are Liverpool going to finish? As things currently stand, they only have one player, but they're looking at trying to bring in a midfielder. Perhaps Joe Allen from Swansea is the one that's being strongly linked at the moment, what with the Rodgers-Swansea connection, after Liverpool did miss out on Gylfi Sigurdsson going to Tottenham instead. It remains to be seen how this Liverpool squad is going to look. I do think there's going to be a couple of signings between today and the end of the transfer window. But looking at the squad as it is, I could see this Liverpool squad doing a bit better, mostly just because Rodgers is there. I think Rodgers is more in tune with, the world of football as opposed to Kenny Dalglish, who was just laughably out of touch on some occasions, and pretty much just survived as long as he did because of his legendary status. Although he did win a cup, so he can argue that the sort of least important cup in top flight English football, but still a cup. So he certainly could have argued his point, but the owner Henry has made his decision. He's brought in Rodgers, and it'll be very interesting to see how Rodgers adapts this team. I don't think Liverpool are going to immediately shoot up into a Champions League spot, even with a couple of other good signings. I think this is going to be a slow rebuilding process. I reckon Liverpool will probably finish above Everton this year. Obviously, Everton finishing above them last season. Great for the Toffees, not so good for the Reds. I think Liverpool will probably finish above Everton, but maybe Newcastle, if Newcastle sort of get found out or teams sort of learn how to play against Newcastle type thing. It's possible Liverpool could finish sixth, but no higher than that. And to be honest, I think Newcastle will probably finish above them. I think this is going to be seventh place for Liverpool, but with probably about 60 points. I think they'll get 5, 6, 7 points more than they managed last season, and I think it's just all about slowly improving and, of course, bringing in some good young players to replace the likes of Carragher and Gerrard, who will, aren't going to be long for this team. Maybe 2, 3 more seasons tops, unless they gain some Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes-esque fortitude. But we'll have to wait and see. Gerrard, maybe. Carragher, I'm not so sure about. Anyway, that is all for today. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for the Manchester City preview. Until then, bye-bye.